Alright, so before we begin this video, I just want to say this was inspired by Love2DrawManga series of drawing herself into screenshots from anime. I was inspired to do some myself, and if you haven't already, go check out her channel. Her videos are amazing, and yeah, this was inspired by her videos, so I'm going to be using the similar methods to do my own. And yeah, let's get started. So the first anime I decided to draw myself into was Haikyuu. I decided to use a screenshot that had Sugawara in it, and this is the anime I have watched the most recently. I just started it. I think this screenshot is from like one of the earlier episodes. Honestly, I'm not that too far in the series yet. I literally just met Kenma, and I haven't even gotten to their match against Kenma's school yet. But I used a similar method to what Rebecca does in her videos. Basically, I chose a character from the actual show. I believe her name is Shimizu. I'm sorry if I butchered that again. I haven't memorized the names yet. But I took a picture of Shimizu and basically traced her for a base. And I added my own personal features, such as making the glasses bigger, because Shimizu's glasses were in no way as big as mine in real life, so I made them a little bit bigger. I added different bangs and a little bit of a different hairstyle, and after trying to make sure that all the line art was good, well, the rough sketch at least, I decided to go ahead and put myself behind Sugawara and make sure that I didn't accidentally run over him. So I went ahead and drew a base a little bit to make sure I didn't go over him in the actual line art. And then I actually did start on the line art, basically doing a cleanup of the rough sketch and making it look making it look better, essentially. But yeah, I go over the sketch for the line art, and with this being my first time drawing in Haikyuu style, it was certainly interesting. I do like how drawing yourself into different animes makes you kind of like challenge yourself with different art styles. And yeah, I just recently started watching Haikyuu. I started it after I finished. I started shortly after I finished Erased, and before that I watched Charlotte. So it was definitely good to it was a good break from the more intense animes. But I do enjoy it a lot so far. I think my favorite character is Sugawara, which is explains why I decided to draw myself in a scene with him. And I basically. The thing with using this scene is it's a sunset scene, because you can see like a sunset sitting. The sun is setting in the background with like the way that the sky is, and so that means it has a little bit of a different color palette from like if they were in the gym or if it was during the nighttime. So I did have to challenge myself to trying to take colors specifically from this scene so it wouldn't look weird. Because, like Rebecca says in her videos as well, each anime has like their own sort of color palette. I did end up having to use, I think his name's Nayo? I could be totally butchering that, I'm sorry. But I did end up using a picture of him for the hair color, and luckily it turned out fine. But I'm pretty sure everything else in my sketch is from the photo. I know I used Sugawara's skin color and the clouds in the background for my shirt, and I think I used his eye color too, because his eyes are kind of hazel. I might have adjusted it just a little bit, but I think for a majority I used the colors in the background. I feel like if I was actually in Haikyuu, I'd probably be similar to Shimizu, just like sitting on the sides or something. Like, is she like the manager or something like that? I don't know. I definitely would not be on the volleyball court, because A, it's the boys volleyball team. And B, I am not an athletic person at all. If you've seen the episode of Friends when they're all playing Thanksgiving football, I'm Rachel in that scene. I suck at sports. I'm more comfortable on stage. But anyways, What I really like about Haikyuu is, while it does, it's not as intense as a lot of anime, but I do like how it uses, like, volleyball. It kind of like as a symbolism. It sort of uses it to teach lessons that the boys will use later on in life. Kind of like self-confidence and, like, don't, like, dwell on the past, etc., etc. And for the final touch, I did what Rebecca always does in her videos as well, basically merged all the layers together and blurred it a little bit so it didn't look so high definition compared to Sugawara, and there I am in Haikyuu. This part was fun. For the second screenshot, I'm going to be drawing myself into the scene of Charlotte with Yu and Takajo. You may see that this picture looks a little weird. That's because I took it on my phone while I was watching it on my iPad. So, yeah. And so for this one, I decided to use another picture I had as a base of Tamori. I honestly don't know how tall Tamori is, but I assumed that, like, she's probably around my height, because that's probably how like tall I would be compared to you in this scene. So for this one, I did actually have the little problem, and I totally forgot to draw over the words on the screen during the sketch. And there were a few details in the, like, first sketch of Tamori's uniform that I completely forgot to draw in. But and one of the major things that was a little bit tricky with this one was I had to draw my eyes in a different position compared to Tamori's, because in the picture that I used as a base, Tamori is she's looking forward at the girl she's talking to, whereas I wanted myself to be looking at you, because Takajo and, like, I would assume myself were being sympathetic towards him, because all I'm gonna say is he's going through a tough time when this scene takes place. I'm not gonna spoil it if you're planning on watching the anime, so we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I had to reposition where my eyes were looking, and I went over the rough sketch to do the line art, and I learned from Rebecca's videos as well, anime line art is never actually, like, it's hardly ever actually black. It's usually like an off black or a brown or something like that, so I had to find the right color in this scene to use for the line art. And as I was going over and filling in colors, I now realized I don't have those details for Tamori's uniform, which is the uniform that they go to the school in, so I should probably add those, which is what I am doing right now. So I really did enjoy watching Charlotte. I thought it was very interesting with, like, all their powers, how they each kind of have, like, a little flaw to them. And okay, the ending, I'm really not sure how to feel about it, and I won't spoil it, but I'm really not sure how I feel about the ending. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. I don't know. Another challenge with this scene was they didn't have my hair color. The closest hair color they had in this scene to mine was Yu's, which is a pretty dark brown compared to mine. And I didn't want to use Tamori's because, you know, hers is like a platinum blonde, and I'm not a platinum blonde. So at first I used Yu's hair color, and I continued to fill in the colors. But to be honest, that it made me look like my older sister because she has darker hair than me, so that just looks like my older sister. So what I ended up doing, I believe, was getting another screenshot that I had of the show and took a color from that and made it a little bit lighter. I think another kind of tricky part was getting the glasses right, because other than Takajo, I don't think there are any characters in the show that wear glasses. And Takasha's are like pretty they're like Ida's. They're pretty thin. So I had to make mine a little bigger, and I think they turned out pretty well. Yeah, here you see me lightening on my hair color. And it was at this moment I realized I'm in front of the words. So after working on the shading and such, I did the same. I added highlights, and then I did the blur thing again where I merge all the layers down and then blur myself, and then I had to make myself see-through for a few minutes so you could see the words on the screen. I really enjoyed drawing myself into Charlotte, though. I think the style of this anime is absolutely beautiful, and yeah, that's Charlotte for you. Okay, so these last two screenshots are from the same anime, also known as my favorite anime, My Hero Academia, and that's mainly because I kinda hate the first one, but I also spent a lot of time on it, so I figured I should include it in the video anyways. Basically I took this screenshot from the training camp in, I believe, season 3, and originally I was gonna put myself in between Kaminari and Sero, and then I realized I was covering up Sero. Like, no matter what I tried, I couldn't get to a point when I wasn't covering up at least half of Sero's face. And then I tried putting myself in between Mina and Kirishima, and then I was covering up Kirishima's face. So in the end, I just resorted to putting myself in between Kaminari and Mina. One of the main reasons I chose this screenshot specifically was because I am a big fan of the Bakugo Squad compared to like the Deku Squad or any of the other little groups in the show, and I always consider myself, if I was in the show, I would think I would be part of the Bakugo Squad if I was in class 1A. So I wanted to draw myself into a scene with the Bakugo Squad because I absolutely love all of their characters. And the thing is, Bakugo's not even in this picture. Bakugo he passed the test thingy, so he didn't have to learn with Aizawa during the summer camp. So I'm with the rest of the Bakugo Squad, but Bakugo's not even here. This particular scene was tricky, to say the least, because I did want to, I don't know why, I wanted to be the only character in the scene with my eyes actually open looking at Aizawa, but I also knew that, you know, we're supposed to be miserable because we don't get to have fun like our classmates do. And it was another instance in which the scene really depended on the colors, because it's a scene that takes place at night, so the colors are darker than usual, and I knew I couldn't just like take a color from a different part of the show, because then it wouldn't look right if it wasn't in a nighttime scene. So that was one of the major things. I had a limited color palette for this scene. The rough sketch process actually wasn't that bad. When I went to the line art, it wasn't that bad either. I think the main thing came with the colors, because I didn't have the right color for my hair and it ended up looking like my older sister again, so we'll just say that I drew my older sister with the Bakugo Squad, even though she doesn't watch anime and she thinks I'm weird for watching it. Yay! But yeah, I really did enjoy drawing myself into this scene. It was just the colors weren't right. I believe I took Kirishima's skin color for this one, and the closest color I could think of for my hair was like the lighter shade of Sato's hair, but even so, it was still pretty dark brown, which I'm a dirty blonde, so yeah, it didn't look right. But that's one of the reasons why I remember I said I did 2 of My Hero, because I didn't like this one all that much, but again, I did spend quite a bit of time on it, so I figured I might as well put it in here anyways. We'll just pretend that I decided to draw my big sister into the scene just to spite her, okay? Yeah, My Hero is my favorite anime. My favorite character is Ida, but I really wanted to draw myself with the Bakugo Squad, so I decided against drawing myself in a scene with Ida. I am one of the main things with this scene as well. So I'm 5'5", so I'm the same height as Deku, and in this scene I get that like Kaminari and Sero are slumped over, but Sero is supposed to be the same height as Sato. And Kaminari is supposed to be 3 inches shorter than Sero. And Kirishima is supposed to be like 4 inches taller than Mina. And Mina's supposed to be shorter than Kaminari. Okay, Mina being taller than Kaminari makes sense in this scene because Kaminari slumped over, but still! Like, the height was such a problem in this scene because I'm like, do I make myself taller than Mina? Do I make myself shorter than Kaminari? Blah, blah, blah. Ah! I guess it was all about perspective in this scene as far as height goes, although I don't understand why that would make Sero shorter than Sato, because I mean he is slumped over, but slumping over like that does not make you 3 inches shorter than someone. Anyways, that's my first My Hero sketch, and hopefully you guys will agree with me that this next one is better. And for this final picture, we are once again with the Bakugo Squad. This time Bakugo is actually with us, however, Sero and Mina are not. But I guess in life you can't have everything. So for this one, I took the screenshot from, I believe it was also season 4, I think. I'm pretty sure it was season 4. But this is when they're going to get their provisional licenses. And I ended up using Todoroki's older sister Fuyumi from another screenshot as a base, and I was suddenly happy that I take a lot of pictures during this show for references. Probably too many, but you know, it helps with things like this. So I ended up using Fuyumi as a base, and again with the height difference, I'm just saying, again, Kirishima is supposed to be 4 inches taller than Jiro, and I'm supposed to be as tall as Deku, so 2 inches shorter than Kirishima, and 2 inches taller than Jiro, so I just did my best. Made myself taller than Jiro, but shorter than Kirishima. So I think the scene, one of the reasons I liked it more was because it was during the daytime, plus it had Bakugo in it, so I can actually use a color similar to my actual hair color, and I won't look like my big sister, so yay! But the rough sketch was fine, and as I was going over it, I realized that the pen that I was using, the Love pen, because I work on Ibis Paint X, and I was using the Love pen, and I realized it was still pretty pixelated. And I mean, I thought it would be good since the picture I was using was kind of pixelated, so it would look good with when I went to blur it and stuff. But I resized the canvas later because the canvas was too small, and once I resized the canvas, the line art was fine, but I was pretty I was like halfway through the line art at this point, so I really didn't feel like going over the line art again because I'd already done it twice now for like the rough sketch and then the line art, so that's why some of the line art is thicker than the others, and coincidentally it made coloring this a royal pain. But I think in the end it did make the drawing fit in with the scene better. For this one I actually used the shading color that they used for Bakugo's hair for the base color for my own. And when I showed this to my little sister later, she said that it made me look like Bakugo's sister. And I remember when Rebecca drew herself into My Hero Academia, she used Uraraka's colors because they were similar to hers, so she said she looked like Uraraka's older sister. So you know what? Rebecca can be Uraraka's older sister, I'll be Bakugo's twin? I don't know. Technically speaking, I'm older than him, but I was at his age when I started watching the series. Plus, if I'm in class 1A, I kind of have to be his age, so I don't know. I'll be Bakugo's sister. I'm fine with that. So this is just like one of those scenes that you will see in the show a lot when Bakugo is being rude and his friends have to apologize for him, mainly Kirishima, because he's dealt with it so much at this point. And honestly, Jiro and Kaminari just look terrified because it's obvious that Bakugo doesn't like this dude that they're talking to, and they're just like, is he gonna explode? Should we take cover? Or is it just a normal Bakugo thing? We don't know. We're kind of scared. I think one of the things that I really like about this picture was it wasn't that hard to do, like, compared to the other one where I had to pick and choose where to put the character. There was a pretty open space next to Kirishima. And I don't know, I just think it's a really interesting scene with, like, the nervous look from Kaminari, Jiro looks like her favorite show came on, kind of. She looks interested in what's about to happen. And then Kirishima just apologizing for Katsuki because he knows that he's not going to do it on his own. I think that if Bakugo did have a sister in the show, it would certainly be interesting because you just know he's totally the kind of character that, like, if you ever hurt his sister, he will come for you and he will make you sorry. I'd say if I had a quirk in My Hero, if I was in My Hero, my quirk would probably be memory, because I actually do have a really good memory in real life. I'd say that my quirk is I can see something happening and I can memorize it quickly, but the thing is I have to be actually interested in what I'm trying to memorize, otherwise, nah, I'm not going to remember it at all. But that could actually probably help me out in combat a lot, if I could, like, memorize power moves. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, here are the 4 scenes that I drew myself into, with anime screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want something similar in the future. Like, I thought about drawing my original characters for these shows into screenshots, or maybe drawing YouTubers into anime screenshots. Or if you want to see me do this again with myself, I have a few that I may be wanting to draw myself into as well. But yeah, just let me know, like, what y'all think about this, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye!